how do big players protect themselves in this case, like in the EPM space?
And it's difficult for us to try and be thought leaders in the space if you're not embracing it yourselves.
And if you challenge your analysts, why wouldn't you challenge the AI tool that's feeding you the same information?
AI, we see it as being risky. I don't think it's risk. I think it's trust.
Yeah, if we had that, I wouldn't be saying it here just because I'd gatekeep that for myself. I think
they have it. They just don't want to share it.
Welcome to Finance Espresso, the podcast where you get real talk on finance transformation in the time it takes to drink an espresso.
Quick introduction, Ricard Ribatallada, CTO at Propriety Group. I'm joined by Chris James,
Head of Value Proposition for CCH Tagetik across Northern Europe.
Thank you for joining us. And we're here in Lucca. I have some questions. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see what you've got.
Okay, so where has AI actually made your work easier versus where it's still hype?
Yeah. So I think actually I can add a quick anecdote in here. We had our kind of kickoff of the year in January, and they had a sales leaderboard then of people that had used AI and their AI usage.
Okay.
And I was seventh. And I've given myself a personal goal to be top by the end of the year.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So mainly, I think AI is amazing for many reasons, but for me personally, it's kind of your co-pilots, your chat GPTs for quick information. I've used it to basically replace Google, but also reformatting phrasing in terms of emails and those sorts of things is where I'm personally using it more and more, and I think it elevates everything. You can kind of hide behind it a little. If you like.
I mean, I use it as a lot, especially in things that are super repetitive, that will take me a lot of effort. Formatting is a big one.
Yep.
Because there's not a lot of value there. Like in the time I spend, the AI does it way faster. But also for research.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's quick. It's quicker than it used to be a specialist on a field.
Yeah, and that's it. So in anything we're doing now, I can probably use a work example. If we're talking to a new prospect, so you can very, very quickly now say, right, I need to know about kind of this vertical or this industry. Give me the key headlines of what they're thinking about from the different kind of angles.
Yeah,
we've got that then from a knowledge sharing position internally, and we want to make sure that everybody else is kind of doing that as well.
So is the policy to make sure that everybody gets AI fluent?
Yeah, and yes, there is. And in fact, there's a wonderful irony about having to use AI to teach you how to use AI. So we have a lot of we've got an internal bot called Leo where you have to kind of do your AI training, and it's run by AI. Which anyway, for Excel people, there's a circular reference in there somewhere, I think. But yeah, I think it's fantastic, and we're pushing that out internally. And it's difficult for us to try and be thought leaders in the space if you're not embracing it yourselves. So it's hypocritical for us not to try and push the bounds of AI internally if we're kind of talking to customers about how they should do it.
It's true that in a very short period of time, it has set like a new standard.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And it's elevating the standard.
Yeah.
Because now, as you kind of said about your research perspective, there's the 20%, 80% argument of that classic piece is so attainable now. That everybody should be doing. Yeah. And it creates a new baseline.
No, absolutely. I'll ask you a second question. What is one process you thought would be automated by now, but it isn't?
Right.
Going to work.
Well, yeah, I think in fact it's one that we see that isn't, that should be. I think is what I can give. So if I think about kind of the Office of Finance in particular, and actually just getting to that starting point of we agree what our actuals are, we agree kind of where our start process before we move into, say, a planning opportunity or kind of etc. Getting that zero, people are still doing that manually. It's still a case of kind of Excel top down, bottom ups, sharing spreadsheets around to make sure we agree with our starting point is. But that's so simple when you move into software. We do quite a lot of again, thought leadership pieces around kind of why CPM makes a difference. And for me, that is the one. It means that you elevate your teams in terms of adding value rather than just manual automation.
Sometimes it's also a cultural thing and an enablement, because people are used to doing things in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then even personally, in my EPM implementation background, I've been in many cases, not just once, but multiple cases where we go through the implementation and the point is to replace Excel. And you go through the whole process, and by the end, the question is, but can I download it to Excel?
Yeah. The answer is yes, by the way.
The answer is yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
But I normally make them walk me through this mental process.
Yeah.
And they realize that, oh, that's not the work anymore. That's done. We can do more interesting stuff.
And it's difficult. And I think from an end user perspective, you've done something for so long,
Yeah.
and I think sometimes change is disruptive. That's we can take that sentence verbatim and fine, but it's how we embrace that in terms of what's it allowing me to do.
Yeah.
And again, stepping away from that, taking Excel out of finance. There's some in there trying to do it instantly.
They
And I'm not
really
sure.
like their spreadsheets.
Yeah.
It's complicated. You know.
I personally like my spreadsheets.
Big fan of the of rows and columns here. When talking about Excel, I used to type in VLOOKUPs and do all of the different formulas, if errors, etc. Now I don't do it. I just tell the AI, "Can you do this?" But because I have this background of having done it like a few times, and every time I have to set it up, struggling a little bit, the AI does it super quick. Even like setting up a goal-seek formula.
Yep.
It used to take me a while to set it all up. Now the AI, I just select the cells and say, make it match this number.
Yeah, there's a really nice example of what we've actually done for this conference. So we still take the agenda, we put it into Excel, and then we kind of look at our customers that we've got and we give them a kind of their personalized agenda, because we've got so many breakout sessions in terms of what we're doing.
Yeah.
We want to make sure they go into the right sessions.
Yeah.
And we want to help them out. So from a regional perspective, we create that. And this year we've got 3 different tracks with duplicated sessions on each track, and all of a sudden Excel felt like it exploded.
Yeah.
I genuinely put that into Copilot and said, I'm trying to do this, give me a formula. And then it went, there you go. That's how you set it up, and that's the formula you need. And it completely did it for me.
It organized everything.
So it wasn't even necessarily inside Excel itself.
Yeah.
I asked the question in Copilot, and I shouldn't be saying this here because I claim that took me 2 days. And it took me about 10 minutes. So yeah.
And bosses just ignore this part. Like, he's just,
They've ignored me for a while.
he's playing
so it's
it
not a
up.
problem.
It's
not
don't
a
worry.
problem.
So okay. I find myself like saving a lot of time on things that used to take me ages before. And the point is, I know how to set up a VLOOKUP, but I wonder the next generation of consultants, would they even need to know? Like, for example, we do programming, but we don't code with ones and zeros. So is it just next level, or are we completely losing track of the origin?
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of, I don't know, you need to jump on this train because the trains are going to the destination.
Yeah.
And I think, the next kind of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds that are coming into the workforce, they will not have the Excel knowledge and experience, because it will be completely obsolete, I think, in the next 10, 15 years. It's not tomorrow, but it will be gone. It will be superseded by something, and I think we can't ignore that. I'm sad to say that. I've personally probably the last 15 years spent in Excel, but yeah, I think it's gone.
But this type of technology, to me, it's like something we've never seen. Like the speed at which it changes and just took the whole world over.
Yeah, I think as much as that was really quite a sweeping statement a second ago. In fact, we were sat just over there speaking to a customer this morning about how these changes are going to happen. And I think there's a structured, unstructured sense to it in terms of where it is going to happen and how fast that's going to be.
Yeah,
we'll see, and the propensity to take it on.
I mean, companies definitely try to, take the reins when it comes to controlling the AI in the companies.
It's great. So something that we discussed earlier, AI, we see it as being risky.
Yeah.
I don't think it's risk. I think it's trust.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge. The challenge isn't, there's no risk in it because there's kind of what you're trying to put through. However, it's the trust element.
Yeah.
Can we stop our kind of colleagues and peers from using AI to enable something and then not build it themselves in Excel and reconciling back, because now we've just done the same process, and that's the challenge. I think for me it's trust.
Trust is an important point here,
Yeah.
and it's so new that it's difficult to know like
Yeah.
how it's gonna evolve.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you another one. Do you want an easy or a difficult one? Let's go with a
Let's go
difficult one.
difficult. Yeah, come on.
Okay, good.
It's been easy so far, so
Okay. Okay. So when we talk about AI, I always hear this sentence that it's only as good as your data. So what do you think is the biggest barrier to better data quality in companies?
I've got a Tagetik answer, which is anomaly detection detects bad data. So,
Okay.
but I think the biggest barrier, definitely the trust point, would be, if that wasn't my last sentence, that would definitely be my answer here, and it's the trust of what's happening. I think the kind of challenge of internal resources want to move at different paces.
Mm.
We typically see that the end user is now quite excited by it. They're using ChatGPT day to day. They're kind of really getting into using AI. And then your CIO, your CTO sat there going, no, we're not going to touch it.
Okay.
And I think that alignment is a really big challenge, because it's making sure that that barrier isn't necessarily being set up by the CIO, the CTO. But I think it's that making sure that we're all moving at the same pace, and we're aligned on where we want to go.
Okay.
Because as much as we could break the barrier down and say bring something in, actually, if we're not aligned on the pace we want to move at, we're going to end up going kind of in different directions.
Yes.
And making sure we stay together and move together is really, really important. And I think there is definitely a natural flow to this as well. This will just happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the main barrier for me is alignment. Is probably the short answer of the 2-minute monologue I gave you.
Have you heard of this term? I mean, I heard it recently, like a couple of weeks back. I was in a conference with CFOs. That was in Brussels, by the way. And I heard the term shadow AI. So, and they were referring to the AI tools that employees are developing without the management necessarily knowing. Because I mean, if you give Excel to your employees, you know they have Excel.
Yep.
If you give Word, but if you give them Claude, what can they create?
Yeah, and I think, and we're definitely seeing it internally. So we're talking already at the moment about how we create certain agents to deal with certain problems in terms of how we're going to potentially push items out to customers or prospects.
Yeah.
How we can, and in fact, Alistair and I were talking yesterday around what replaces first. Does implementation from a software perspective get replaced by AI? Can it go and do it? And I think there is a day when an agent potentially takes that over. Hopefully not too soon, but I think that
But it could happen.
It genuinely could. And we're looking at how things like putting proposals together. Can we take a customer RFP? Can we add some more kind of information? We push that through an agent and then push out the answer. And I think eventually the answer is yes.
Yeah. How far?
How far?
How far down the line you see it?
We're working on that right now. So
Okay.
I would think we would maybe have something this year. Whether we'd use it every time, whether it's just piloted, I don't know. But yeah, a colleague and myself are literally working on building that at the moment.
Okay.
And can we get something? I'm going to completely contradict myself, because what I will definitely be doing is doing that process and then figuring it out myself at the same time, and reconciling
that's
back.
the spirit of wanting to validate it by yourself.
Exactly.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, but I think in an earlier answer I said that was a problem, and then I'm probably going to be a complete hypocrite about it. But I think it's where we are, and yes, it's not what we want to do, because I'm fully aware I'm duplicating work.
Yeah.
But
it's a normal thing. It's a normal instinct to challenge any number, especially in finance.
Yeah.
And if you challenge your analyst, why wouldn't you challenge the AI tool that's feeding you the same information?
100%. I mean, use a cheesy phrase: zero is king in finance, because it means it reconciles. Yeah. Zero is the most important number in finance. Mainly from the tier counts of your debits and credits. Does it all come back to where it should?
Yeah. Okay. Are you okay with a couple more?
Yeah.
Let's keep going then. So, are companies more limited by tools or by internal processes and culture?
Yeah. I could probably give a stronger answer to my initials internal process. Internal processes exist for a reason, though. Their process doesn't exist for because there wasn't an initial kind of it was a reaction to an initial cause.
There's rules for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that there's an element of that. So we're celebrating in the background. So I think there is an element of that definitely being a case. But I think tools are enabling us to go forward. So I think definitely internal process. But whether it is internal process or whether it's the challenge on change and the resistance to change, it's not necessarily an internal process, but the tools are there ready to enable you anyway.
There's always resistance to change.
Yes.
Right. We've seen it previously. We are seeing it now. The first fear of AI was, are we all going to be replaced?
Yeah. Again, similarly, playing back to the conversation we're having across this courtyard, was we've been using AI for years. We just didn't call it AI. When you type into Google and you spit your first word in, and then Google gives you 10 suggestions on what it's doing, that was AI. That was artificial intelligence based on an algorithm that is figuring out what it thinks you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's always existed, but we just didn't call it AI. So I think there is
I mean, one of the earliest examples of AI that we've all been using is on the emails, the spam detector.
Yep.
It just basically follows patterns to classify. Yeah.
Exactly.
It just now it looks alive.
That's it. We can put a voice to it, which means that as human in the loop, we feel like that there is a human the other side.
Okay, that's a good one. What's the most overrated AI promise you keep hearing?
Needs to be,
And it cannot
tactical about this response.
it cannot be AI make me earn £1 million. You know, it needs to be something more.
Yeah, if we had that, I wouldn't be saying it here, just because I'd gatekeep that for myself. I think
They have it. It's just don't want to share it.
I think for me, non-tangible examples of where you can use AI, and I think there is definitely cases in our market, in other markets, where people are talking about AI being the next big thing, but they haven't got the tangible example to say, look, this is what we're delivering and how we're going to deliver it. I flip that back to maybe something that I think we're really trying to do is make sure that those cases are tangible and understandable. Example being using AI auto mapping to support IFRS 18. I won't necessarily go off onto my kind of approach on that, but it's taking AI and applying it to a real world challenge that's now. A lot of people show the wonders of AI, but it's never actually gonna be used in kind of true process. It's not going to add any value. And so I think that's the one for me. There's some smoke and mirrors around that.
It's a bit like some people see it as a magical thing that it just you ask to resolve it and it's done. But it's also, I think AI has benefited from having certain technologies that are easy to pick up for the AI itself, and some others that like need to keep updating because the software they were created a few years ago and is not as compatible. Do you think that if, for example, if a new technology is created today, it really benefits from AI, so it can catch up to the technologies?
I think yes. I think that's about as short and as simple as answer as possible. Yeah, it can and it will.
So how do big players protect themselves in this case, like in the VPN space?
Back to what we said a second ago. I think it's about.
And I know this is a tough one.
No, it's more not being resistant to change.
Okay.
And trying to be a thought leader in the space and move with the times. I remember I didn't want a touch phone for a long time, and everyone was started using iPhones, and I was like, no, I don't like that. They don't work. haven't had anything but an iPhone for about 15 years.
Okay.
This isn't an Apple pitch, but it was more
Because they are not.
other phones are available.
They are not paying, but guys, anytime we accept anybody at this point.
If they want EPM, give us a call. But I think that kind of shows it's going to happen. I think it's answers that we've said previously. I think it's a really good question in the sense that it actually brings back everything that we've spoken about. Change is going to happen, and I think being non-resistant to it will elevate you and accelerate you in that process, and be ahead of the market. Maybe point back to Apple with the first touch phone.
Yeah. Perfect. Last question then.
So have you saved the best till last, or
did you have fun?
Fun?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, we're done.
I mean, how's it not easy to have fun? Speaking to you in such a
we need to do the Espresso.
An espresso cheers. A little pick me up before the evening.
Yeah. Okay, we're done.
Done?
Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic.